What's good? I know how to do this. Cause some people was like, yo, man, this nigga's tripping. You know, you start getting into the Bible automatically. You're gonna ruffle feathers the moment you open it up. As soon as you touch it, open it. If you don't believe me, next time you're sitting at the dinner table, don't even tell nobody. Just put the Bible on the table and see what happens. It's gonna be like a freeze and mixed emotions. You know what I mean? Next time y'all gathering for Thanksgiving, put it on there. That's just the Bible. Imagine pulling up in this day and time, especially, and whipping out the Quran and putting it on the table. The books speak so much volume because of all the people's ancestors being associated with them. People don't understand how deep genetics and epigenetics goes. You don't just have sentimental value associated with these books. You have genetic DNA value associated with the books. So the moment somebody even starts talking about the Bible, you actually get uncomfortable. There's this raise of anxiety because you don't know whether or not they're going to challenge what you believe or not. You don't know whether or not they're going to challenge what you believe in or not. Wow, this whole time I've been wiping the wrong camera. Copies of their own book, but I have a physical copy of it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I knew I wasn't tripping seeing a notification pop up that you was live. No, I'm on live in the flesh. They was going crazy in the comments. In the comments, that's why I be telling people, get out the comments. When you have to deal with somebody tone to tone, they get a little different. A lot of people with all these big followings, they want you to think. They want you to think that, can y'all hear me? Y'all let me know. You can say a million words in 1 minute. And it's going to be a million different people that take each of those words, say, that makes sense, let me take that and apply it to my life, or let me believe that, whatever. But the moment somebody step up and say, excuse me, I got a question, my rhetoric isn't there to sustain questions. My rhetoric is there to sustain the image or whatever the rhetoric points is supposed to deliver to people so they can believe me. What are your questions going to do for my agenda? So what they been doing to me since I was young, I'm 26 now. They've been doing this to me since I was younger. They'll say, oh, that's a stupid question. The Christians used to call me the devil because I asked them questions. The Muslims ain't going to do nothing but cuss you out in a language you don't understand. You know what I mean? But some Muslims will talk to you. But a lot of people that's a part of these religions, they don't play that. Don't ask me any questions. And this is how you know whether or not somebody is sound in what it is that they stand in or stand on. Can you handle a question? Not just a question. You're dealing with someone like me, it's going to be a line of questioning. Can you handle it? I can handle it. So if you can't handle that, then that's a great opportunity in the moment of you saying you can't to realize, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I believe. Now, before we get into this, I want to let everybody know I respect everybody's belief. That's the difference. We saw yesterday when one of the sisters got on here, they went on talking. We got to a bill. We were talking about Rashad Jamal, all the rest of the people, and we broke down some of the sciences. We were able to point out a lot of things that he was teaching that's just false. It don't even align with science, but y'all just believe it because of the charisma and all this other stuff, which I have, so I understand that, which is why I warn people about that. I say, don't just believe me when I'm talking because I'm able to articulate well. Don't just believe me when I'm talking because I can enunciate and express myself. No, you need to go look into everything. And I tell people to do that. So if they choose not to go and look into this stuff, and people say, no, Rashad Jamal told us to do the same thing. Ain't no way he told y'all to do the same thing. Because when he told you black people have neuromelanin and the rest of the people on the planet don't, y'all should have looked into it that very same minute. Before 60 seconds was over, you should be able to tell him, no, that's wrong. Incorrect. Because if you out here preaching that neuromelanin belongs to black people, and I ask you, excuse me, what does neuro mean? And you can sit there in front of 100-something people and tell me, I don't know. Okay, then how can you tell me what melanin is if you don't even know what the prefix of the word or the compound mean? Neuro, nerves, brain. Okay, why it sound like you hating? It don't sound like I'm hating. It sound like I'm going into what you're talking about. Let's take hate out of it. Let's take how you feel about it. Let's take if you had tea this morning out of it. And let's take how you feel about it. Let's take if you had tea this morning out of it. And let's just do. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Because some of y'all might be different. Yeah, I'm on the road, so you got to kind of expect some type of interference. Okay, thank you. Okay. So the point is, melanin doesn't belong to black people, y'all. Go research what I'm telling you. Don't accept it, right? What I think Rashad Jamal was trying to teach about was something called eumelanin. Even still, eumelanin is just a type of melanin. Then you have pheomelanin. You understand that? So it's different. You got neuropheo, eumelanin. These are just different types of melanin or pigment, which is a carbon compound. All right. So another thing, when they were like, oh, black people are the ones with carbon. That's not true. Every living being on this planet is composed of carbon. They think carbon means black people. They think carbon means melanin. Carbon doesn't mean melanin. Melanin is a carbon compound, but not explicitly, because you also have to factor in hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So if I would have taught to any of y'all teachers who teaching this, they'll just be like, not tapped in, and y'all gonna believe them. They're gonna say, oh, he believed the white people's science. Because you're not making up your own. You're using their words, and these words have definitions. This lady sat on the live with me and said to the Most High to get that. I said, okay, do it right now. I said, I got time. She said, I can't do it, all these lights in my face. I'm like, okay. All right, well then I'll wait for you. Then when you come back and tell me the definition of nitrogen, that I can go and look and see, oh, this is the definition of nitrogen, then I'm gonna ask you, why did you have to go to the Most High to get that answer? Because they didn't. Now you're telling me. I said, it seems like Google aligns with the Most High, and you look in their face, it's like I cussed at them. That's not a negative thing. If it aligns, it's a good thing. Even better. The point is, y'all not getting this from source. And the source that y'all are calling y'all source, who is Rashad Jamal or Nature Boy or any of these people, that source is highly fallible and flammable. Because as soon as truth gets to it, it catch fire. You can see that. So neuromelanin being black people, that's wrong. Then he was talking about DEA as opposed to DNA. We sat there and watched that whole lecture. I told y'all we don't run from truth. If he was going to tell some truth, or if I thought he was telling the truth, right, or if I thought what he was saying was going to put a shame to everything I was saying, wouldn't I do what everybody else do? Was just act like he didn't say it and just talk crap about it and not deal with it for real? Or did I get on there and play the whole lecture for y'all? Now, of course, we skipped through certain parts. Why? Because there were certain parts where he kept looping. He kept saying the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm a rapper, right? So from being a freestyler, I know if a nigga get to a point where he get to saying this is how you know a nigga who freestyle don't freestyle enough. When he get to saying this, you already know I come with bro. You already know I got the this with the bro. You already know. We already know already. How many times we gotta already know before we realize you don't know how to damn rap? You just gonna keep ABC in this shit. Well, you know, I know rhyme schemes. I see what you're doing there. You already know I'm coming through with the pole, and you already know you don't want to roll. You already know whole lot of toll. You gonna have to pay. You already know. Yeah, we know. We aware of it at this moment. So the moment they keep saying, yeah, you got 1 to 3 series of DNA. 2 minutes later, you got 1 to 3 series. 5 minutes later, he got 1 to 3. I said, okay, he don't know what he's talking about, and he gonna keep doing that. The nigga said dark matter energy is non-ether. Then I showed y'all there's no such thing as dark matter energy, because dark matter doesn't emit energy. It doesn't emit light. It's dark matter. You want to know what they mean in science when they say dark? People think dark. They think they talking about black. No, these people are literally saying first, we don't know what it is yet. We just detect that sometimes when we're observing celestial bodies, when they get to these ranges or areas where we say that's where dark matter is, they may be on the spiral or the arms of a galaxy, but when they get to it, they speed up in their rotation or their orbit, meaning something is pulling them in that direction to speed up. And then when they get past it, they go back to the original orbit. Okay, dark matter means they don't know what it is. And then you get into the absence of light. So he said, we're radiant beings. We release light. I said, either we dark matter energy beings or we radiant beings. Because if we dark matter energy beings, we can't release light. Because dark matter, first of all, you have to deal with, look at a black hole. What can escape a black hole? Let's talk about it. According to science. Only way I'm going to not go according to science is if they stop talking science terms and come up with their own language, come up with their own science. But the moment they stop doing that, that's when we'll deal with whatever it is they say they bring it from the Most High. But right now, they bringing that shit straight from the University of Vermont, and they didn't attend it. You see what I'm explaining to you? So, black hole, light doesn't escape. Dark matter energy, no light emits. So, well, that's just dark matter. Remember that, because there's no such thing as dark matter energy. My point is, all of this comes from Rashad Jamal, right? Well, Rashad Jamal becomes a pastor in the spiritual community. He becomes a pastor or a reverend in the conscious community. And then after he's done, he'll say, I'm going to sell y'all these crystals for $222, $111, because the numbers got to mean something. Little synchronicity numbers. They're not synchronicity numbers. They're just dollars. Let's just tell the truth. And you're selling them crystals that you don't really understand how they work. Because if you can't explain to me about photoconductivity or valence or any of this stuff, first of all, how does a quarks work, actually? Not what it does for you spiritually or esoterically. How does a quarks work? Somebody pull up and they got a magic wand. It's just a piece of quartz on it. And I pull up and I got a phone. Which one will be able to do more? He said, why would you bring up a phone? There are quarks in your phone. Quarks is technology. But is the spiritual community speaking in the terms of crystals and rocks and all that for technology? No, they're talking about it esoterically. The sister that got on here, she was talking about the chakras. I asked her about the pineal gland and she spoke of. She didn't know about its functions, but she knew about the esoteric functions. Now, which one holds up in the real world? The esoteric function or the actual function of the gland? She said, I can use my pineal gland to see through you. Okay, so if I were in front of you, you would be able to use your pineal gland to see through me? That's what are the functions of the pineal gland? They don't know. So are the teachers of the spiritual community preparing people to be the new scientists? No. Now remember, when I was saying the word science, you say, why you keep using this science word? I said, doesn't Rashad Jamal claim to be one of the original 23 scientists who created the cosmos? Yes, and nobody asked him why he was using the science word. He claims to be one of the scientists. I said, okay, based off of Rashad Jamal teaching, explain to me about the creation of the cosmos. She started off with, there were carbonated beings. I said, I got to stop you. Because you're mentioning elements. You're mentioning elements. Tell me about hydrogen. Tell me about how nitrogen came to be. You said there were carbonated beings, meaning there was a compound of carbon in some way, or a composite of carbon. Tell me how carbon came to be. You let him start with there was an element that became beings that just built everything. He doesn't know what he's talking about. A lot of people like the idea of the Big Bang Theory. They don't want to admit it. So instead of admitting it and say they were inspired by it, they're just going to take one element out of it and tell y'all that they figured it all out. When people go to school to figure this type of stuff out, study the cosmic microwave background, astrophysicists, astronomers, all of that, they go to school for decades to talk about one part of their subject, and they know damn well that they don't know all the other subjects. So that's why they gather together at forums to bring people who are experts in a different subject so they can speak about the whole thing. And you're going to tell me that there's one person that's standing there and ain't studied it but 3 TikTok videos deep, and now they know what it is. So this is just an example of what happens. And then spirituality becomes a religion. You see what I'm saying? And then you have religious leaders. So Rashad Jamal is one of the religious leaders. And people did not question him, not to the extent of being able to take their sciences further and know he didn't know what he was talking about. There's no such thing as DEA. He made it up. Okay, you got deoxyribonucleic acid. Most people don't even know that as following him, that that's what the whole phrase is, not just DNA. He says it's not DNA. We got deoxyetheric acid. And then I ask you, how does ether turn to acid of any kind? What are you talking about? Okay. They're not going to understand what you're talking about. Acid is the stuff in Hollywood movies that they got in this green, you know, in this black tub with green liquid. That's not acid. Water's acid. You have some difference between acids and bases. And there's certain things that people have to know. Then you got to deal with sugar and all of that. But you bring up sugar to them, they're going to think, like, we don't eat that. No, I'm not talking about that. To me, it sounds like you hating. It has to sound like that. So let me give you an option. If it sounds like I'm hating, don't sit here and listen to no hater. Be a real nigga. Bounce. I'm not going to hang around no nigga and sound like a hating ass nigga. I'm not going to be there. Just bounce. As soon as I get around, oh, y'all niggas gossiping. I'm about to go. Find something more constructive to do with my time. All right, so let me put y'all in here. Who we got? Yo.
Yo,
You be a real nigga when you start like talking about this man on these lives and shit. Like to me, like you don't know what the fuck you talking about, gang.
All right, explain.
Like you about that spiritual shit.
Okay, explain.
And I'm about to explain to you. On God.
on game time, we finna put you down to twin. To me, it sound like you sound like a bot. You sound like an NPC,
No, like
man.
just
For the
explain, twin. Just explain for him, twin.
Yeah, you got to
twin,
explain for me, twin.
the shit that he teach us, twin. He don't teach us no false information. I know that shit for a fact, and I just can't let you sit here and talk behind this nigga back and shit, man. I
You said,
can't.
yeah, okay, who you talking about? Who you talking about?
Rashad Jamal.
Okay, can I ask you, so you a student of Rashad Jamal?
Yeah, yeah,
All right, if I ask you some questions, you going to be all right with that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do Rashad Jamal teach about carbon?
Carbon, yes.
Okay, for sure. What's the atomic number of carbon?
You said what?
What's the atomic number of carbon?
Tom and I'm a carbon.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
mean 9? Something like that?
Oh, yeah, it's 9. Yeah, for sure. See, y'all know what y'all talking about. It's not 9. It's 6.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy is your whole community of people be talking about how it's 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Y'all be saying the number. I ask you, what's the atomic number of what you're talking about, carbon? Because you're supposed to be a carbonated being, and you're going to tell me 9. All right, now that's one thing. He teach about 9 ether.
Yes.
Okay, can you explain to me what 9 ether is?
9 ether being. Nigga, we is 9 ether.
You can't
We got
tell
9
me what
ether
9
in
ether
here.
is by telling me that we're 9 ether. You have to be able to tell me what non-ether is. Don't just say we're non-ether. That's just repeating the question back to me. What is non-ether? Based on Rashad Jamal teaches, since he don't teach y'all nothing but the truth, tell me what non-ether is.
Okay, I'm finna put this shit in a way like, so right. 9 ether, it's not no scientific shit about that, no none of that. 9 ether is just what we is.
So it's just what we is.
Yes, like 9 ether. 9 is the highest number of everything, bro.
Okay.
And when we get to our that what we want.
So,
I was a fool, and I knew he got 9 ether
Yeah.
being.
okay, I got you. So based on what Rashad Jamal teach, non-ether is just like, it's just what it is type shit. Like, okay, you got 9, because that's the highest number, right? Okay, let's deal with that.
Yeah,
Why is 9 the highest number?
cuz. Don't we only did stuff like I can't really explain the shit.
Nah, explain that shit,
I
twin.
can't really explain the shit cause like I don't know.
Okay. Let me
But
ask you a question.
we
How old? Hey, I ain't trying to little boy y'all. I'm 26, right? I just told you my age. How old are y'all?
hey, I'm 14.
Okay, how old this bro talking about explain it.
I'm 13, twin.
Bro, I gotta tell y'all something, bro. Y'all in a good position. Alright? Cause y'all really young and I get why you
Twin, but hold on, twin. But like the reason how I know this shit real because twin, I put it on my dead uncle twin. We be out this bit controlling the wind, twin. Real deal controlling the wind.
I feel you. And when y'all be controlling the wind, did y'all check the weather that day? Did y'all be like, let's make sure ain't no wind, twin?
It was like twin, we do it when there's not no wind, twin.
But you gotta check the weather first. This how you do it. Pick a day where you know ain't gonna be no wind, and then practice aerokinesis. That's how you gonna show yourself. Don't do it when it's a windy day. Don't wait for it to be a rainy day to be like, I just made it rain. I'm giving you something. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to slight y'all because again, you in a good position. If you talking about all this and you 13 and 14, all right, I need y'all to go look this up. 16-year-old Mason on YouTube. 16-year-old Mason. When you see a video that says 16-year-old Mason, the rest of it gonna be like teaching class, hidden knowledge, something like this. But if you just type 16-year-old Mason on YouTube, the nigga that's standing at the chalkboard or that drawing board, that's me. I was teaching this stuff that these folks ran with, right? A lot of these folks out here ran with. I was teaching that in high school 10 years ago. And before then, y'all on the right track. I'm just telling y'all, he ain't teach science. He taught stuff that lead people under psychosis. Y'all more invested in him, and I could tell because I'm asking you questions. You said non-ether don't have nothing to do with science. That's not true because the one who taught it originally, Dr. Melikazi York L, he taught it in
Yeah,
full. He taught it in full. Now,
yeah.
if I ask you to give me the components of non-ether and you tell me it's just a number, or if you just bring up hair, I know who y'all teachers are. Y'all teachers are Young Pharaoh. Y'all teachers are Rashad Jamal. That's who taught the spiritual community who think they understand. You have to know what the noble gases are. But you still in school. You literally gonna learn all this stuff. You have to know what the
Noble gas.
oh,
But
yeah.
twin,
Go ahead. Go
like
ahead.
you talking
But
about like twin, hold
Go ahead.
up,
Go ahead.
twin.
Go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
twin, how I know this shit real too. Cause you gotta understand, twin. You can look like you can look this shit like this shit they put out in facts, twin. You can look this shit up, twin. You can look who made all this shit, twin. You can look this shit up. You can look all them white people got. You can look all that shit up. You can look all this
I
shit
hear
up.
you. I hear you. Check this out. Y'all follow me.
And
Y'all two
and
follow me.
hold on,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I follow you. I be watching your music and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
Follow twin. I already do.
All right, look. All right, look. Check this out. Y'all two still in school, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna make you an offer, cause like again, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time on this live to like really get to you how I need to. Just keep walking with me, then you gonna see where we going with it. Cause y'all like, okay, it sound like you hate. It's because you a fan of Rashad Jamal. You might not realize it yet, but that's the only reason why you thinking that. Cause if you really listen to what I'm saying, I'm asking you
Yeah.
questions as you a student of Rashad. You should be able to answer these questions. You feel what I'm saying? It shouldn't be. You should be able to answer it. It shouldn't be no. Oh, I don't know. I can't explain it. Nah. Do it sound like I don't know stuff? Do it sound like I can't explain stuff? If I'm talking about it, I can explain it. This gonna put you in a better position in life than just being somebody's student who you just take what they saying
Yeah.
because somebody you think the folks that if they lying so much, if the school system lying so much, or science lying so much, why these folks still using their words? You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They still using the same
Hold
word.
on.
Like real quick, what's ether?
Hold on, twin.
Go ahead.
Like I don't like I don't listen to everything what he say. I keep it in mind. Like
All right.
I don't just go off what everything he say. You feel me?
All right. So then,
Yeah.
okay then. All right. So then, again, I asked you about non-ether. You don't seem to know what that is, but he taught you that. You feel what I'm saying? I asked you about carbon. You don't seem to know what that is, but he taught you that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like
Then,
he
then
say
like,
too much shit.
go ahead.
Like he say too much shit in his videos. Like it be smart as fuck and some shit I don't be knowing.
Okay, that's what I'm saying to you. But you still like, okay, you still
Yo,
saying he's saying the right. How you gonna tell me he's saying the right shit? You don't know what he's saying.
Because I be gathering information and I go look at it.
All right, so then I'm gonna let you do this
I
before we
got
go
I
ahead.
got this shit in my head, twin. I just can't put it in a way to explain it.
All right, so then that's gonna be you. You feel like what you learn, you're gonna be able to take to other people and teach them too.
Yes, I already did it, twin.
Okay, so
I
then
already did it, twin.
all right, so then this what you need to do. Make sure that like, cause I'm on you. But then y'all told me y'all age, so I kind of just eased up
Yo,
off y'all a little bit, cause y'all told
hold
me. You
on,
see what I'm
twin. Cause
saying?
like
Like, but
I'm
I'm on you.
twin. I'm used to doing what you doing to people, twin.
But then you're not doing it right now. Because I'm giving you the opportunity to do it right now in front of more
Yeah.
people. And you're not doing it right now. I'm telling you, this is time, if you're going to ever do it, explain it right now. Like, don't waste no time. Oh, I'm going to come back. None of that. Right now, this is the time to be able to do it. And you're not doing it. So you can't tell me you're doing what I'm
Man,
doing.
fuck this. Y'all about to can't explain this shit, man.
You say you
So
can't explain it.
all this shit, like all this shit, when y'all cool, you know y'all cool. All this shit he made, this how this shit got fucked up how it is right now. Cause he had a vision, in his mind he had a vision, and he made all this shit.
Family.
He
How you know
he
Yakubu
created
real
them.
story? How you know that come from the NOI,
He
no, right? You know the NOI,
twin
right? You know who them folks is.
twin. The reason how I know this twin, cause I looked his name up, and it said it was a black scientist who created the white race in Laos.
Okay. That's
Cause
what I'm
first
trying to tell you.
stage was they came from first they was monkey. No, like it came from all the way down there until they got to they Neanderthal stage, and that's what they
All
at
right.
now.
All right. How you know that story true?
Because like all this shit, like I look all this shit on YouTube and everything. I look Neanderthal up on YouTube. It show all that shit.
But
Like
then that's
I
that's
really
more
just
of
go,
Darwin. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, cause like again, I don't think we got time to go through everything. And then the way I teach a little different. I wanted to ask y'all a question. I'm not trying to be, you know what I'm saying? I want to ask y'all a question, see where you at with it based on what he taught you. And if you telling me at this point,
I was like, he ain't see me like he he said that word and and I went to go look that shit up. Hold
all
on,
right, so then I'm
nigga.
gonna tell you, yeah, I'm gonna say it like
Wait,
just
he
just
said
keep
that shit.
check this out. You hear me?
Yo,
Keep doing that. Cause again, what I'm asking you about what he teach, mainly the main stuff he teach. Y'all go around talking about non-ether. Y'all go around we carbon beings. Y'all go around all of that. Like,
no twin. Look, we don't go around saying that shit, twin. We just teaching with like we just teaching how it is, how we went to war, how we how we went to war. Fell in our frequency, all that.
all right, so then I'm gonna say to y'all, then just keep researching that. Keep
Yeah,
researching.
that's
Nigga
what we
ain't
doing.
nigga ain't hating though to be like, nah, that don't make sense. And then the only way you can say I'm hating, like, you gotta know what makes sense. Like you gotta, okay, if I say neuromelanin do not mean that. You can't be like, you hating. You gotta be like, okay, let's go look it up. Same way you say he says shit in a song and you go look it up. Why the fuck wouldn't you look up what I'm saying to go see whether or not it's true? Then come back and be like, nigga, that shit was true what he said. You hating. Or, you know what? He right. That shit don't mean that. That's what I'm telling y'all. If it ain't just about Rashad and you really feel that, then, you know what I'm saying, that's another thing. But the way it looked like is because I'm saying it and he taught it, you think it's some hang shit. It's not. It's on some, bro, like, just a nigga tell you some shit, you gonna go check and see if it, you know what I'm saying, if it hold up. If it don't hold up, then you gonna have to approach another way about it. Say, nah, that ain't that one. So then if I say Rashad Jamal said this, that's not right. That ain't true. We gonna look this up. Then I show you that it's not true. Based on the same shit he talking about, then you gonna be like, you hating, or you gonna be like, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? So now it ain't no hang shit. I don't even know him to be hating on. And then people be like, oh, you trying to get you some followers. They don't know me. I got more followers than him. What you talking about? Then we getting more attention out in the mainstream world. I didn't need Rashad Jamal to do that. Matter of fact, by the time I was saying Rashad Jamal talking on my shit was already in the air. It was already in the air. But I done came and talked about 19 Keys, Umar Johnson, the rest of them people. Then I'm over here in the music industry talking about Thug and them. You know what I'm saying? All the rappers, the drill music artists. I'm over there talking about that. Then I'm in the fan. Then they like, oh, you hating on this one person. You trying to get clout off this one person. No, y'all got too many
Nah,
folks.
bro, like we ain't
Go ahead.
like we not saying like that. Like we just like how you was like. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like how you was saying it. Like how you was speaking all that shit. Like I was just sitting there just listening to that shit. I'm gonna keep it real. Like that shit looked like that shit. Like you was
So
talking
then,
like
okay,
a brat.
I'm gonna give you the opportunity. Like, okay, let's look at it then. So if you saying that wasn't one thing I said, we like, nah, that's some ain't shit.
He don't
That sound,
know how to
or
rap.
that sound like some ain't shit. Was one thing I said.
When you said he ain't know how to rap, I was like,
When I say
twin,
he
this
don't know how to
nigga rap
rap,
better than
oh no, bro, I was giving an example. I see what you're talking about. I was giving an example of niggas who be freestyling. I didn't say he don't know how to rap. I wasn't talking about him. Next.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
wasn't
that's
talking
the
about
only
him. No,
like that
I
was
ain't
the
really
only
heard
reason
his
why I
shit. I
said
don't
you
know
were
if he.
hating. That's
Go ahead.
the only reason I said you were hating. Cause like when you said you don't know how to rap, son, I was like, twin.
I'll give an example of freestyling when folk be freestyling. I wasn't talking about Rashad Jamal. I was using an analogy to say when nigga be like trying to act like they know some shit, right? And then they keep saying the same shit over and over again. They don't really know what they talking about. Like if I'm sitting here explaining something to you, like when I ask a nigga say, okay, what's non-ether? You say, okay, it's just non-ether. It's just like it's non-ether. This is me repeating shit. So I gave the analogy. I'm making it like look like it's the same thing. I'm telling people this is the same type way. I said that just like saying this. That when a nigga be like, oh, that just like saying this. That's what I was saying. Oh, that just like saying when a nigga can say he can rap, but then he keeps saying, you know, oh, you already know I'm in the niggas with it better. I'm already know I'm with my niggas did it better. You already know. And he keep talking about some already know. That's a lot. I'm really giving you something. That's a lot of what niggas who be freestyling be doing. They keep when a nigga get to talking about already know. That's how you know they ran out of shit. So I was
Hold on,
saying
so
he kept teaching like he was trying to teach DNA, but he kept saying the same shit over and over again. That's not teaching. That's just like you don't really know where to go from here. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna keep emphasizing the same point. That wasn't saying he can't rap. I don't know if he can rap, but trying to tell me that DNA got oxygen bonds as opposed to hydrogen bonds, bro. You just making shit up. You just making it up. That's not science. You see what I'm saying?
so in your eyes, what is
My
non-ether?
my understanding of DNA,
Hold up.
it my understanding of DNA, it is actually called DNA. But we're
Yeah,
not human beings. We
yeah.
God.
Let me ask you a
We're not
question.
human beings.
Let me ask you a question. All right? Because I'm not saying y'all wrong. I'm saying you gotta be able to explain it still though, or don't say that part yet. Like if I ask you like what you be doing for fun, like what y'all niggas into, y'all can explain that. But then when I ask you shit about this, we supposed to be taking this shit to another degree. Y'all supposed to be able to explain that too, the same way you can explain regular shit. If you can't, then you got some more learning to do on it, studying to do on it.
Yo,
And that's gonna be all
twin,
throughout
Yeah.
your life. It ain't
we
gonna
can
ever stop like
we
that. You whatever you touching.
man,
So
I'm telling you,
I'm finna ask you something. You say,
ask son.
okay, you say like, we got DEA, not DNA, right? I know where you get that from. Cause Rashad Jamal the one who put that out there. Then I ask you, okay, in order for you to make the difference between something, you gotta understand what the other one is. So I don't even gotta really too much go to DEA route. I just gotta ask you questions about DNA. Then I say, what's a nucleotide? What's your answer? Then I say, what's a nitrogenous base? What's your answer? Then I say, what do deoxy mean? Or then I say something simple like, okay, explain to me what's ATCG. What do those four letters represent when it comes to DNA? ATCG. It deal with the pairs. But what do they represent? Them four letters, what them words is. ATCG. This simple, by the way. Anybody who touched genetics, you gotta understand this to begin with. It's literally the beginning of learning about DNA. Then you go into all the different ways that it expresses itself, genetic expression, all this other stuff, regulation, all that other stuff. I'm just asking you a simple question about DNA. How many people you think talking about, oh, we got DEA, not DNA? How many people you think actually learned about DNA? The answer from what I'm
Like me,
seeing is
like me,
exactly. Go ahead. Go ahead.
me. I don't learn about DNA. All I know is that's what white people got. They got
But you
that
don't know
DNA.
that because
So
you got to be
I
able to
know.
tell me what it is. Okay, then I'm going to tell you something, bro. You got to be able
Uh,
to tell me what it is to tell me they got it. But you don't know what that is. You don't know what DNA is, but you saying here because of your two parents trading DNA with one another, you able to sit here and talk to me right now? If them
I
folks
know that we
listen,
don't got
listen,
DNA.
if them
I know
folks
that we don't got DNA because we don't have we don't have the same type of structure.
okay,
We
so let
don't
me
have
ask
the
you let me ask you this. Let me ask
same
you this
type
then.
here.
Let's say you got a child, right? Boom. I'm not saying you do, I'm saying let's say you have a child one day. If you don't. Boom. But you don't know whether or not this your child. You see where I'm going here? All right. So boom, you go to the clinic. You say, let me get a DEA test. They gonna look at you like you what? Okay, then you say, no, never mind. Give me a DNA test. They gonna swab your mouth, right? Then they gonna swab the baby mouth, right? Then they gonna come back with the results, tell you, here go your child, you know what I'm saying? Results. You are the father or you not the father. How they do that if you don't got DNA? When it's a DNA test.
Cause DNA, they don't want to tell us
They
that we
don't
got
want to tell us.
DNA.
They don't want to tell us.
They want us to think that we
Oh,
all the same, but we really not. Cause this was the Latino and black people land first. They
So
want us
then,
to think that we all one race and we all human
okay,
beings,
so
but we not.
here what you gotta know, right? I grew up in a different type of community, a community of scientists, and I know this firsthand. We had people who were working at the DNA clinic. One of the people who was responsible for my dad did this is part of my real life story. My dad went and took his brother with him to take the test so that he didn't have to say that I was his son. The person who was behind swabbing him out, she was one of our people. She was one of our folks. Black lady, like how y'all say. She was a black lady, one of our folks. She was a New Orleans. She swabbed him out. She ran the DNA test. You talking to me? You telling me decades of years done went past, and people who are black people, regular people, all that, they done been in there doing the DNA test, and ain't nobody ever say, "Oh, this DEA, this ain't DNA."
Because they don't want you to know that.
One of my own people, one of my own people from my community, studied DNA, went to go and do the test. They actually conduct the tests. Listen to what I'm telling you. They're not on TikTok. They're not on
Look,
YouTube. They actually go.
I know what you're telling me.
twin.
I know what you're
Hold on,
telling me.
twin. But hold
They
on,
don't put that in there
hold on,
because
twin.
they don't want, like, they don't put that in the stuff.
So many scientific knowledge be fake too.
All right. So then some of the scientific knowledge is fake. Okay. A lot of the scientific theories could be fake. Scientific knowledge ain't fake. Let me tell you how you know that. Okay. I don't know what too much to talk to y'all about because y'all still. All right. How about this? Uh, nigga. Okay. I'm gonna say it like this. If somebody heart stop, boom. Ain't there's a way to bring their heart back so it can work again?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
All right. So then they take out the defibrillator, the two things they like clear, bring a nigga back, right?
yeah.
That's science. That's science. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. Then if you want to ask me about the Big Bang, cosmic microwave background, Oort cloud, all that, okay, that could be them reaching or trying to say they know shit they don't know yet, because that could be a theory. That's why they call it a Big Bang theory. It's not a theory that if a bullet go through somebody's brain, it could kill them. That ain't no theory. That's real science. And there's science that explains it, mathematics that explains it. You know what I'm saying? So when it
Twin,
comes to
but
DNA,
Hold
them
on.
bullets,
go ahead.
Back
twin,
on.
but them bullets is made out of our skin. It's made out of the
Whatever it's made
stuff
out
that's
of,
inside of us.
okay, let's say it like this. Let's say it is made of skin, right? 'Cause I know where you getting that from. But I'm really mad at this man right now. Because y'all are two people that represent the youth who mind he done got in. And we probably reaching the youth and making y'all scientists. This man got in y'all mind so deep.
We don't
It's
supposed
really,
to be
it's
no
just,
side.
I got more patience than it seemed like. Because I'm really aggravated right now. Like, this is aggravating that he did this. And he didn't
Twin,
care that he
hold
was
on, let
doing it.
me take you back on the Big Bang stuff. Let me take you back on that. The Big Bang.
same theory. That's not true. That is not what we're supposed to be taught. Well, before all this happened, it was straight dark energy and plasma energy
And
with with the
Rashad Jamal,
feminine
right?
energy.
Because Rashad
Hold on,
Jamal said he was.
hold
Go
on.
ahead, go ahead.
So what do you think? Like,
That's
tell
what I
me
was
what.
trying to tell you. That's what I was just trying to tell. And then you got
So
stuff that's real life. So let's say the bullet. Let's say the bullets was made out of the skin, right? That wasn't the point. Okay, we know bullets ain't made out of skin. We can test it. I can't believe this is an argument, but we can test what bullets is made out of, right? They got whole meters for that. You walk through a metal detector with bullets on you. Is your skin going off or is the metal going off? I can't believe this. But let's say bullets was made out of skin. They put the skin in it. My point was that when a bullet go through your brain, a projectile go through your brain, okay, because of the circuit that get thrown off, the blood that fill up, you can die, or a person can die.
Hold
You get what I'm
on.
saying? That's science.
The bullets isn't made out of our skin. They made from our ancestors' skin back inside where the pyramid of Egypt used to be at. They dig up them dead bodies and grind up the bones because they are metal. They grind up the bones and put them inside the bullets. That's where they get the bullets from. That's where they get
So the people that was
all
in,
these
so the people that was in
from.
Europe, the people that was in Europe that was shooting each
That was
other,
us.
got their bullets
Look,
from Egypt, and that was the people that was in India that was shooting, the people that was in America that was shooting each other. Everybody went to this. You have to understand how many bullets have been in existence, and you have to understand how many bodies would have had to been ground up underground. And you mean to tell me right now, because I got people who done went out there, took pictures and everything, that when you go to the pyramid is still stable. It's still there. When all that digging done took place up under it, it's still there. And somehow,
I never,
all the bodies that was under there, they done went in and grabbed all them bodies over all these hundreds of years.
I never said the bodies. I said the bones. The bones are still
The
there.
bone a part of the what?
The bones are part of the body.
So that's what I'm talking about, twin.
All
The bone body.
these fossils and
I'm talking
stuff, when
about the
they say
bone
they
body.
found the dinosaur fossils, that's not fossils. That's our bones.
It don't matter what it is. You mean to tell me that all of the bullets on the planet Earth is made of some bones up under one pyramid?
Not even one pyramid. Our dead bodies all across the land.
well, we had a war. Like we had a war with all they had. Like
So let me ask you a question. Let
Atlanta,
me let me ask you this.
Mississippi,
I gotta ask
Chicago,
y'all. I
Atlanta.
gotta ask y'all this, right? So then, why do the bullets go off when they go past the metal detector? Cause you saying they mix the bones in with metal?
No,
Our bones
our
was
bones
metal.
Our bones are
Like
metal.
that, we used to heal ourselves.
So we will. Okay.
that's why they showed you Wolverine
Okay. So our bones used to be metal.
is, and then they started giving us cow milk to
They
expand it,
start.
expand our
Yeah,
bones.
they say it makes your strong. They say it makes your bone more stronger, but actually strips the bone,
What
make it
about
more
the children who wasn't raised on cow milk, like myself?
They
yeah,
bones will be more stronger.
yeah, your
But
bone
my bones
more
not
stronger.
made of metal.
Yeah,
You're
you
not
not.
at your higher point with
Yeah,
how we used to be.
So then
So
you
your
have to.
bones not gonna
All right. So here what I'm trying to tell you, twin. If I didn't come up with milk, I should still be at my highest point like how I used to be. Cause that's what you
no,
just said.
because the planet is a low frequency.
the
The
oxygen,
planet,
the trees you see now, that's nowhere near how the planet used to look.
and we breathing out oxygen.
Where we should be breathing that hydrogen.
We should be breathing in what?
Hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what's hydrogen?
Aha. Hold on.
I know your rhetoric
I
point's
gotta go
coming
back
from
in my.
Rashad. That's why I just did that. Like, what is hydrogen? Tell me what it is real quick. And I'm gonna be quiet.
Hold
I
on,
got you.
we got to think, man.
You don't gotta think. You didn't have to think to tell me that. But when you repeating somebody talking points, you don't gotta think. But when it comes time for you to know what you're talking about, because I could
Yeah,
have stopped you there at any given point. Metal Listen, it's an element that comes from the planet, correct?
Yeah.
So then why would they need to listen to what I'm about to ask you real close and just take a deep breath. If metal comes from the planet, why would they need to harvest human ancient bones to get the metal if it's easier to just get it from the planet?
Because we come from the planet. We natural to the planet.
No, that don't
The
answer the
metal comes
question.
from Earth.
That doesn't answer the question. You could come from the planet all you want to, but your bodies ain't all over the planet. You
They
understand?
they is all over this ice wall that we in. They are. We are on one landmass.
So then metal didn't originally come. All right, so think about what I'm about to ask you. Think about what
Hold
I'm about to
on.
ask you. Think about what I'm about to ask you. We come from the planet. Our ancestors came from the planet too, right?
Yep.
So then our ancestors, according to what y'all saying, had metal bones, correct?
Still bones, actually.
No, twin, we come from Planet Series X.
What?
We come from Planet Series X.
Planet who?
Planet Series X.
Planet Siri X?
Planet Series X.
Sirius X
Yeah.
family. All he did was take Sirius B, substitute the B with the X, and he took the Planet X teaching from Dr. Melikazi York.
And he admitted that. Yeah, he
No,
admitted
he
that.
didn't because
He was
no, he didn't.
He used to shout out
if
Malachi
you
York.
watch his lectures, you would hear him say, I read on Malachi York books and did my research and
Then
got
he's a
some of
liar.
my
Then
knowledge.
let me tell you why he's a liar.
He used
Because he got on the phone.
to say free
Let me
Malachi
tell you
York.
something. Let me tell you something. He got on the phone with Arcades Can See, and he was like, "I never read a Dr. York book. I never heard a Dr. York lecture." Then he's a liar.
When he said that.
When he got, I just told you, go. You can either DM Arcades or you go to YouTube, type in Arcades Rashad Jamal. Listen to the interview. He said because he was being asked about Dr. York, he said, "I never read a Dr. York lecture. I never read a Dr. York book. Never heard a Dr. York lecture." This is what he said out his mouth. So if he never read that, twin, answer the question for me. How the hell he gonna tell you what's in the books? But then if he say, you
Oh
know what,
no. Oh no,
I did read it, then you gonna have to answer me this. I read Dr. York books too, right? So
yeah.
when I asked you about non-ether based off of what Rashad Jamal teach, you can't tell me nothing about it. But I read Dr. York books and I can tell you everything about it, and I don't have no problem telling you everything about it because I can
Yeah,
tell
tell
you
me.
where I got it from. I can tell you about everywhere I'm getting this shit from. Cause then how I'm gonna say it's coming from the divine? How I'm gonna say it's coming from the Most High? I can't say it's coming from the Most High if I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying, Dr. York. But then I tell y'all who Dr. York is.
Yeah.
Cause then y'all gonna look and be like, I'm not saying mention Dr. York. I'm saying, hey, I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to non-ether. Here go who know. Hey, look, I'm not one of the 23 elders. I got that from one of Dr. Melikazi York pages out of the Holy Tablets book. All the names and everything is in the book. He said it. That's his words. He broke the stuff down and these folks out here trying to teach. But here go the thing. They doing like what y'all doing. Y'all repeating what Rashad Jamal say, right? Okay, it can sound good.
No, no,
Until
no,
go ahead.
I don't got no problem repeating. I like, cause I know that some of my knowledge that I got has came from Dr. York and Rashad Jamal, but I don't
There's
repeat it
no
in that
such thing
way.
as Dr. Z York. Okay? I don't know why they did that. Maybe because they scared of the Malachi name. There's no such thing as Dr. Z York. His name is either Dr. York
Malachi,
or Dr. Malachi Z York. There's no Dr. Z York.
I know that. I just say Dr. York for short.
Okay, that's
But
not the
if I'm
shortening though.
saying
It will be Malachi York for short. How you say somebody's middle name then last and leave out the first? You see what's happening? You want to know who else did that? 19 Keys. It's they're disrespecting him when they do that. It's intentional. They don't say Muhammad. They say Elijah Muhammad. Or they'll say the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. They don't just say, and that guy Muhammad, right? So why would you say Z York? Who is Z York? No, say the name so people can go look up who that is. Type in Z York. What is that? Say the names so people can find the books. They weren't written by Z York. They were written by Dr. Malachi Z York or Aminu Bibir Akatai or Imam Isa, the different names that he went up under. My point to y'all is you're talking to somebody who studied the same books these people studied, but they got lazy.
Alright, so hold on.
Go ahead.
Why you think they locked? Why you think they locked Rashad Jamal up?
I talked to Rashad Jamal, baby mama. So it seemed like the reason why Rashad Jamal got locked up is because he had issues with his baby mama, and something happened to a child, according to that baby mama. And she said other things too that didn't just have to do with a child. She said all the times that she said I could talk to her daughter too, by the way. So if I want to, I can get a daughter on the phone, right? She said there were multiple times where he put his hands on her. Her 15-year-old daughter had to get him off her when he was beating on her. You know what I'm saying? Gun to the head, all kind of
Now,
stuff. Hold on,
now what
hold
type of
on, hold
charges?
on,
Now what
hold
type
on,
of charges Malachi
hold
York got?
on, hold on. Malachi York don't have any abusive charges. He don't have any aggressive charges or none of that. Look at what I'm saying, right? He never went to the police on any of those things. He's not in there or charged with any of that. She said where she drew the line was her child. She never went to the police on him for any of the stuff that was happening to her before that point, according to what she's saying. Now, here's what I'm telling you before you jump. Notice I said I talked to the baby mama. Not I got on YouTube and listened to somebody talk about something and just read it. I talked to the person that's involved. So before we get into Dr. Malachi York, have you talked to anybody that's involved?
Nah, but I know that the Illuminati, the shadow government they
had their
paid
hands
they
in it.
paid they paid Rashad Jamal baby mama to do this. They gotta tear somebody with a
You
platform
started out
that
by saying you know something. You said I know the shadow government paid her. How you know that?
because they do it to everybody that mostly everybody that's speaking and stuff. Either they kill them or they take a charge that the person know they ain't do and they lock them up
So then
for them to tell they
watch what I'm
innocent.
saying, right? Watch what I'm saying. I talked to the baby mama. Did what she say first person. I talked to her on live. Her name is Darshell. I talked to Shells on live, and she was like she never been approached by no police or nothing. The first thing this lady said to me when I reached out to her, first thing she said to me was, right now I'm working with my child dealing with a lot of suicidal thoughts, suicidal statements, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So she dealing with that a lot. So she was trying to figure out when we was even gonna be able to go live, all of this stuff. But she talked a lot about her child first before we ever even get to going live. She spoke about the child. The child is an actual living person, a living being. What y'all fail to do a lot of the times in these types of situations is putting faces to the people who are involved in a situation. Just because somebody got hit with a charge doesn't mean it's automatically false. When you set a precedence that says, okay, because you're a quote unquote black leader, then the government is going to take you down. When you set that precedence and everybody believes it, guess who that makes more room for? Actual predators. Guess who that makes more room for? Actual abusers. Because the moment that something happens and they get called forth for it, they're going to say, the government came and tried to take me. So I talked to Shells. Shells is not the government. She's a woman. She lives and she breathes and she has children with testimonies of this man being abusive in the household. Not
I'm
sexually
not. I
abusive,
didn't.
just the
I never.
abusive part that we talking about. You think it's okay? Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's okay to kill kids?
No,
Rashad Jamal
and I know
does.
Rashad Jamal ain't do that.
Rashad,
Cause
but
why would he speak?
Rashad Jamal he said he'll kill kids.
He probably was speaking off chaos energy when he said that, or his ego. But I know he wasn't
It's
serious when he
chaotic to
said that.
murder. Chaos energy ain't nothing but an excuse to deflect from what I'm saying. It's chaotic to murder, ain't it? He said he'll kill kids and all. You think that's
I
cool?
ain't hear when he said that.
I'm saying
He
you
not.
can go look
He
in.
not.
You
He
can.
not saying
You,
the way. He not saying it in a way that
how
he'll
you
kill a
know? How you
kid for
know?
no
You ain't heard it
reason.
yet. You ain't heard it yet. You got to go hear it first and then be like, okay, let me see if he's
Yes,
telling
I
the truth.
did. He said. He said something like this: "If you trying to hurt me, if you trying to kill me, of course I'm gonna kill you." Like he said some shit like that. Or you talking about what the shit with Young Pharaoh?
That's two different. Damn. So it's more than one time where he said he was gonna kill people's children, and we got to find like what he meant behind all of that, or are we gonna render that psychotic? We're gonna render that not an example that people need to follow, because the intellectual people that I know for one that if you ever had to go to war, there's still reasons to apply rules to it. Even the countries that dominate other lands have rules to how they do certain
Hold on,
things.
hold on, hold on. Forget about all that Rashad Jamal stuff.
No, we ain't finna
And about
forget about that. Cause the first thing y'all told me was it's not
no,
okay to kill
this
children.
something you need to know.
You
This
said it's
something
not
you
okay
need
to
to know.
kill
And
kids.
about
And then when I said Rashad Jamal said it, now it changes.
hold
You
on,
don't
because
think
it's
that's
about to bring
indoctrinated?
back right to that Rashad Jamal stuff.
All
In
right, go
about
ahead.
6 more years, in about 6 more years, you know the war gonna pop off, right?
What war?
You don't even know about the war? Did you forget that this was our land first, and that the white people, the reptilians, the human beings,
You
the
said your land
Caucasians,
first?
the
You said it's your land first? Let me ask you one question. I got to get up out of here. I'm about to
our
hit the
land.
studio.
I said it was our land first. Our family,
Yeah,
yours,
so you have ancestors